This is Storytime with Pete. I'm Pete. Well, it finally happened. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, has shut its doors. And after years of making banks sweat and payday lenders lose sleep, the agency that was supposed to be the financial watchdog of America has been put down like an old guard dog that barked at too many powerful people. Now, depending on who you ask, this is either a long overdue removal of an overreaching bureaucracy or a disaster for consumers who, well, let's be honest, aren't exactly known for reading the fine print on their credit card agreements. So let's break it down. Here's why the closing of the CFPB is a good thing. First, let's talk about some folks who are celebrating. Many businesses, especially banks, mortgage lenders, and small financial institutions have been grumbling about the CFPB for years, claiming it was a regulatory nightmare. Compliance with its rules was expensive, complicated, and in some cases made it harder for people to get loans. You know the old, we had to deny you that mortgage for your own good argument. With the CFPB out of the picture, banks can breathe easier now. No more billion-dollar fines for accidentally charging hidden fees. I say that tongue-in-cheek. No more government watchdog sniffing around their lending practices. Instead, they can go back to the good old days of self-regulation. That worked. Which, as we all know, has always worked out great for the average consumer. And let's not forget small lenders. Credit unions and local banks often have complained that CFPB regulations were suffocating them, making it harder to offer loans without drowning in paperwork. Without the CFPB's oversight, they can now compete more freely, assuming, of course, they choose to do so ethically. Now let's examine why the closing of the CFPB is a bad thing. Now, if you're a regular person who occasionally uses money, you may not be thrilled about this. The CFPB was, in fact, created after the 2008 financial crisis to prevent predatory lending and other sketchy financial practices. So in its time, it forced Wells Fargo to pay billions in penalties for fake accounts. It cracked down on payday lenders trapping people in cycles of debt. And generally, it made life harder for the financial industry's more creatively dishonest members. So with the CFPB gone, who's watching out for you? The banks? Credit card companies? Maybe your Aunt Carol, who still balances her checkbook every morning? Without a regulatory agency designed specifically to protect consumers, the responsibility now falls back on other government entities, most of which are already overwhelmed or have bigger fish to fry or have cut thousands of their workers. The biggest losers here are lower-income borrowers, first-time home buyers, and anyone who doesn't have a law degree to code these financial contracts. So expect more hidden fees, more fine print, and more, oops, didn't you see the terms and conditions moments? So was this a good thing or a terrible mistake? That depends on whether you believe businesses should be trusted to play nice without oversight. If you think regulation stifles innovation and economic growth, this might be your moment to celebrate. If you think banks and lenders should be held accountable, you might want to start reading every contract you sign very, very carefully, if not just running it through ChatGPT. So one thing is for sure, the CFPB's absence will certainly be felt. Whether it's felt in your pocketbook or your business's balance sheet depends entirely where you stand in the financial food chain. Make it a great day. I'll see you next week.